Is it working? Am I on? Yeah, I'm on. Okay. Um, I watched Guardians of the Galaxy last night. All right, so I wanted to make a video, but of course I fell asleep. So what do I do when I wake up? You make a video. I remember watching as I'm rewatching it because I saw it in the theaters when it came out. I think once. I don't think I watched it more than once in the theater. I remember how stunning it was to watch. So I'll give you try and give you an overview of what the movie was about. Follows the main character. We learn more in the second Guardians of the Galaxy about his origin or whatever. Um, Essentially, he doesn't know his father, and his mother dies of cancer, and it's hard on him and in the family. You get to witness that first and foremost as the movie's starting. Then somehow he just disappears or gets kidnapped by out of world beings or something like that. Okay, and then fast forward, and he's yeah, what is he? He's like a thief, I guess. Yeah, he's like a thief or a mercenary or something like that. But he gets his opportunity to get a big score, and of course he's going to take it. But by him doing that, he's also turning his back on the guy who pretty much took him in. You say what you want about that. Okay, but this movie that I actually enjoy watching is actually part of a much bigger thing that they were able to create. I think I don't know. It's almost 10 years. I feel like of movies that are involved that are around one major movie that came out not too long ago. Um, but they're chasing the Infinity Stones basically, and this movie happens to be surrounding around one. Um, Now he has this stone. He doesn't know it's a stone. He has this orb. He's trying to sell the orb. He mentions a name. They're like, nah. The guy's like, I don't want to sell it. I don't want to buy it. And he's like, come on, man. It's a lot of money. I don't need it. But all the while, there's a bounty on his head. So this is where two more of his friends, or soon-to-be friends, come into play. Um, the little modified raccoon and the big tree person, Groot. Um, so they come into play. They're chasing him. They're about to get him. All the while, simultaneously, Gamora, Zoe Saldana, if I say her name right, her character has her own motives, but she's coming to get the orb as well. That's another one of her friends. So is that all his friends? Are you missing one? Drax the Destroyer, which is hands down my favorite character out of the whole movie. If I had to pick one, I'd pick him. What's that line he says? He says something because I guess he's super literal or something like that. And they're like, so yeah, that went over his head. He's like, it's impossible. Nothing would go over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it. I don't know. I think I butchered that joke. I butchered that. I know I did, but to me that was hilarious. Um, so now somehow they all it's just Groot, the raccoon, and uh, Gamora. Those three characters are introduced around the same time, and they all get into a big fight. Then they get incarcerated, and when they're incarcerated, they get introduced to Drax the Destroyer, the Bautista's character, and they escape that prison. So now they're all together, this merry band. But that's one thing I have to say about the movie. It's definitely geared towards kids because even though there's death in here and there's loss and there's pain, everything's pretty much glossed over with humor, and it has a super light feeling surrounding it, super light feeling surrounding it, right? Um, but I guess that's just an American way of looking at things, trying to glaze over death and loss and stuff with jokes. not necessarily dealing, but you don't necessarily have to deal with it head on. But look at me, I'm trying to give life lessons and stuff. You don't disregard that last statement. So yeah, so after they all break out of this prison and get all their gadgets back, and it's just so many uh, there's so many things that are visually appealing in this film. I can't even list them all. So once they break out of jail and they're like, well, now we got to go get this. Did they lose the stone by that point? No, they hadn't lost it by that point. They still had it, but they went to somewhere to in order to sell the stone, if I'm not mistaken. And that's when Drax, being like drunk, he calls the people that they're trying to hide from, and then this big battle happens, and they wind up losing possession of it, and then they have to like regroup and kind of raise each other up again, and then they have to go and try and fight once more. But oh yeah, yeah, another thing, the main character, Chris Pratt, I almost forgot. I got to mention something very important about him. He's obsessed with this. He's obsessed with this Walkman of all things that has some of his mother's favorite music on it, and he's continuously listening to it. So that adds a element of it adds a fun factor to this movie that's probably unparalleled in anything else because of the music. They took all the popular songs of a certain decade and just play them over in a loop while the movie's going on. How could you not win with that? These are bona fide uh, 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 chart topping popular songs. There's no way you can lose with that. Even if it spans generations, there's no way you can lose with that. You got that going on in the background. Now, where was I going before I sidetracked myself? Yeah, he also for some reason falls head over heels for the Gamora character just instantly. He falls head over heels for her. So there's a scene where she's pretty much gonna die. Uh, he tries to sacrifice himself. He sacrificed himself in order to save her, but not for too long. If that makes any sense. But he did almost give his life for her. Then they're in another situation, and they have to get out of that one. And then somehow they all turn to work together in order to save a planet that this guy who's got the stone, I forgot the character's name, he wants to destroy that planet for whatever reason. And then they have to try and work together to save him. And then being very climactic, gets to the end, and he tries to, and he's almost about to destroy this planet, but they wind up working together again and stopping him, and they get possession of the stone, and this is where he finds out that he's like the lead character. Is where he finds out he's like half human, half whatever. To all you fans of this series, this is my style of doing a review. I just feel like people fall in love with movies, and I can't blame them. I've fallen in love with movies of my own. So if I stumbled on somebody who I felt was butchering a, a, a classic almost, I would be like, I would have to voice my opinion on that. Feel free to. But anyway, that's pretty much the end of the movie. The Gamora character hasn't completely turned the main character down, but I think at this point they're just teammates, which is good. Dave Bautista, his character, I just like that character. He's really funny. He's still hanging around. Groot is now like a child again because he sacrificed himself in order to save the rest of the team. The little raccoon, he's still ornery as ever, but they did a good job of giving his backstory why he would be in such a way because of the experiments they were doing on him in order for him to walk upright and talk like a human and hold things and this, that, and the third. So all that's hopefully this makes some sense, and I'm just not jibber jabbering, but I think I am jibber jabbering. So, hey, um, if you like me jibber jabbering or going on and on, I've got other movies up. But the majority of my channel right now is uh, TV shows. So I've got The Godfather in Harlem. I've got Breaking Bad. I've got Mandalorian, which I didn't like. I've got The Wire. I'm doing that. I've got Chernobyl. Go check out all those videos and subscribe.